Hello students, today's agenda is to check homework. We'll be evaluating transformations and you will be able to work on 7.10. Today students will be able to evaluate transformations and understand what they represent. So let's begin with the understanding part of it. You're not going to have word problems for this lesson, but I want you to understand what it represents so that it's easier once you're working with those functions. So the first one says, Patricia has two books and buys a book every month. 2 books, it's a constant number. We know how many books, and buys a book every month. What we don't know is how many months she will be buying books. So we're going to write f of x equals the 2 books that she has is a constant, so we're going to put it at the end. Plus, she's going to be buying 1 book every month. The 1 book, it's not expressed in the as a coefficient, okay? We never put a 1 as a coefficient, but we say 1 book every month, okay? So this will be the function for the word problem that they're giving us. Then it says, what if somebody gives her 5 extra books once? How would you write that as a function? So what that means is that you're going to have f of x, which is the representation of what she has. That's usually what happens for her. But somebody gives her an extra 5 books once. So this is her function. It's only this part right here plus 5 that she gets that one time. Okay, so what does that mean? We're going to replace f of x with what that represents. F of x for her is x plus 2. So we take away f of x, we take this out, and we replace it with x plus 2. Plus the 5 that she gets. And so that will be equals to x plus 7. Okay, so let me show you how they would show it. Sometimes they want all the notation, so you have to be or see what professors or teachers ask for. So in here again, this is f of x, which is what she usually gets, plus the 5 that she got once. And they usually just say, okay, what we're replacing, we put it as x plus 2 plus the 5. Okay, it's just the same thing that we're doing here. This is replaced by this right here. Okay, f of x is that part. Plus the 5, you just bring it over. And so this notation, they bring it down the way it is, and then they simplify this side, which is x plus 7. Okay, sometimes so let's continue writing it this way. Again, 5 extra books, you just put f of x plus the 5 outside or at the right. For the next one, we have, how would we write if she decides to buy books twice as fast? Twice as fast, whenever you say twice, that means multiplication, but we have to be careful. In here, twice as fast refers to the time, right? And what variable represents time in here? Patricia has 2 books and buys a book every month. The x represents months, so that's what we're going to multiply by the 2. So I'm going to write here what we have up there. F of x is equals to x plus 2. Okay, that's her usual. This is what she usually does. But this time she's writing books twice as fast. What does that mean? That this is what is being multiplied by 2. This x represents the months That's how we know that it's that part, because the x represents the month. So now instead of having f of x, we're going to have f of 2x. What does that mean? We're going to get this part right here, and that's going to substitute. You know how it's replacing x in here? That's going to also replace x right there. Take out the x and put this in its place. Okay, so that's going to be, instead of x, 2x, and the rest we just bring it the way it is. So in here we don't have anything else to simplify. That's going to be the answer. Number 3 says, what if she falls behind 4 months in her books buying? Write the function. So she falls behind 4 months, se atrasa 4 meses. Again, this is related to time. So again, I'm going to put f of x equals x plus 2, right? That's her regular routine of buying books. But she's falling behind. When you fall behind, atrasarse, it's minus. And in this case, it's 4 minus 4. So we're going to have f of x minus 4. Again, we're subtracting the 4, not from the f of x, but from the x only, because it refers to the months. Remember that x represents the months. And so, what does this mean? Again, that means that we're going to get whatever is inside of the parentheses, get x, remove it, and we're going to bring that in there. Okay, so we're going to get this, but instead of x, x minus 4. Plus 2, we just bring it over. And then in here, we are able to simplify. So we combine like terms. And so f of x minus 4, this is just to bring it down because it's just notation. Es parte de la notación. Equals x, negative 4 and positive 2 is negative 2. And so that's my answer. Okay. Number 4, I'm going to leave her regular routine in there. It says, what if by magic all her books double? Now in here, again, we have f of x equals x plus 2. This is referring to the books. What if by magic all her books double? This represents all her books, the ones that she gets every month plus the 2 that she already has. So what does that mean? That you're going to get f of x and you're going to multiply by 2. All the function, you're going to multiply it by 2 because it refers to the total number of books. Okay, and so in here, the way it's going to look is that you're going to bring down f of x whenever they are outside. When we added plus 5, we just copy the function and then do whatever is outside. In here, again, we just copy the function. F of x is x plus 2. And what do we do with that? Oh, in here, twice or double means multiply by 2. So you're going to multiply all her books by 2. We use distributive property. And so it's going to be 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. And so, again, we just bring it down for notation. 2f of x is equals to 2x plus 4. And this is just representing all her books that she has after a certain amount of months, multiply by 2. Double, lo doble. Okay? That if you're multiplying outside, it means doubling the whole total number of books. That if you are subtracting inside, it refers to getting behind on the months. Okay, if it's inside, it affects the months. If it's outside, it affects the books. Okay, and just a recap, if you notice in here, 5 extra books, the addition is outside. Okay, how would you write if she decides to buy books twice as fast? This refers to months, the time that goes inside, twice as fast. This says behind 4 months. Again, in here, it's related to months. It affects the months, that's why it's inside. And the last one, her books double, outside. So when it affects the books, the number, the constant or factor is going to be outside. When it affects the months, it goes inside. Okay, I hope that wasn't too repetitive. We're going to be using these 2 functions now, and this is actually what you're going to be doing in your homework. You have 2 functions in here. You have f of x and you have g of x. Okay, those are the 2 functions that we're going to be using, and I think I'm going to be folding it so that we can see them all the time. So it says evaluate the following. Right here for number 5, we have f of x plus 3. Again, it's outside. That means that you're just going to get whatever f of x is, 2x minus 4, and this is just going to be brought down, okay? So f of x plus 3 is equal, this is just for the notation. And what is that represented with? Bring down the value of f of x, which is 2x minus 4. 2x minus 4. And what are you going to do to that f of x? Add 3 plus 3. Okay? Again, this is f of x. This is just the plus 3 that we have in here. And that's going to be equals to, we combine like terms. And we get 2x minus 1. Okay, again, if they ask you to bring down the notation, just make sure to do that. But that's going to be your answer. This is what is represented by that right there. Number 6 says f of x plus 3. So in here it's adding in the months. You're 3 months ahead. Okay, again, I'm just going to write it again so that we have more space. F of x plus 3 is equals to, again, is in reference to the function with f of x. So it's 2x minus 4. 2x, look at what I'm doing right now. 2x minus 4. What did I do when I said 2x? I removed the x and put a parenthesis in there. Because if you remember, when they had something in the word problems inside of the parentheses, we took out the x, we scribbled it out, and then we said that this replaces the x. Okay, 2x, but now it's not x, it's x plus 3. Okay, and let me use a different color so that, okay, so instead of x is x plus 3. Then from there you just use distributive property. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 4. Sometimes what students say, oh teacher, then when the numbers are inside of the parentheses, that's when we put the parentheses in here instead of the x and add that in there. And I said, yes, that's, and if it's outside, you just keep the original number outside next to it. If it's on the right, put it on the right. If it's on the left, like when it's multiplication, you put it on the left. We combine like terms. That's just for notation. We combine like terms. Again, bring it down. Six minus 4 is plus 2. Okay, so this is going to be the answer for that. Okay, let me fold it. Okay, let's do some more. And so in here it says for number 7, 3f of x. Again, the number is outside. All you have to do is get the original f of x. So it's going to be f of x 2x minus 4. But make sure that you bring down the notation. 3f of x. 3f of x equals. Again, we're going to, remember that you should leave a space for that too. You're going to bring down the original, which is representing the f of x, 2x minus 4. Because it's a coefficient, I left a number in there, but it's multiplication. You're going to multiply by both terms, so make sure that you put it between parentheses so that you do the distributive property. And so, again, we bring down the notation 3f of x. 3 times 2x, 6x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Now we don't have any more like terms to combine, so that's all. Okay, for number 8, if you notice, now we're going to be using the function g of x. We're not going to look at that. We're going to use this one. And what this says is that we're multiplying the original function times negative 1. When there is nothing in here, that means that there is a negative 1. Okay, so again, write this notation again, just because it needs to show in there. And I'm repeating this because a lot of people get confused of what am I doing where. Okay, so again, on the left of the equal sign is just what they gave us. Okay, it's right there. In here, it says that it's equal to the original g of x, and you're going to multiply it by negative 1. So bring down the original g of x, because it's multiplication, we're going to put it in parentheses. Negative x plus 5, and we're going to multiply it by negative. Now in here, you can put a 1 if you want. It's an imaginary 1. Okay, I'm just going to put it so that you know that it's there. And so we're going to start distributive property. Okay, and so again, we bring down the g of x equals negative 1 times negative x, positive x. Negative 1 times positive 5, negative 5. And that's it, because there is nothing else to simplify. Now let's go to number 9. Okay, I had to figure out how to fix it. So now we're going to do g of negative x. Oh, when something is inside of the parentheses, that means that I'm going to take away the original x and put this in its place. Okay, again, when I have something going on inside of the parentheses, I'm going to box this, take it away, and whatever is inside of the parentheses goes in there with a parenthesis. Okay, so let me do that. This is for notation. G of negative x equals, we bring down the minus. Instead of x, we put a parenthesis, remember. So write it as it is, except that x is a parenthesis over here. So negative parenthesis plus 5. Negative parenthesis plus 5. Bring down the notation. G of negative x equals, oh, and I'm sorry, what goes in here? whatever is inside of this parenthesis goes in the parentheses, which is negative x. Remove the x, replace it with whatever is inside the parentheses. And so in here, this negative outside is like there is a negative 1. Negative times negative is positive x. This negative does not affect the 5. The 5 is outside. Okay? And so we just bring it down. And that's my answer. Okay, number 10. And I'm sorry that it's creating that shadow. Number 10 says f of x minus 5. Now that means that whatever you have with the function, but somebody takes away 5 from you, okay? And so f of x, you just copy the function the way it is, so it's 2x minus 4. So for notation, we put f of x minus 5 equals, and again, we're going to start writing it. F of x is 2x minus 4. Okay, this is just the function, the original, and you just bring it down. It's on the right, so you put it on the right. And we bring down the notation, and on this side, we're going to simplify by combining like terms. So 2x, negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. And we cannot do anything other than that, so that's my answer. So just a super fast recap. If the number is outside, just bring the function and put that number. If it's multiplication, put it on the left and multiply it by the terms inside the parentheses. But if it's addition or subtraction, it's going to be on the right. Just write the original function and bring that down on the right and combine like terms. When we have something going on inside of the parentheses, just copy the function, but when you get to the x, open a parenthesis to represent that x, and you put whatever is inside of that parenthesis in the parenthesis that represents the x. Okay. With this, now you're able to do 7.10 and have fun. Also, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share. Love math because math loves you.